Hello, beautiful MILFs, and welcome back to another episode of the MILFs Who Pivot podcast, where the term MILF is short for Money Making Independent Lady Friends. I'm your host, Bianca Terry, and each week I'll either be interviewing or reading about amazing women who have pivoted in life to pursue their wildest dreams and wealth from a MILF's perspective. This podcast aims to motivate and encourage other MILFs to boldly explore uncharted paths towards a fresh and fabulous leveled up life. Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Today in the guest chair, I have Rubia Daniels. Rubia was born and raised in Brazil before moving to California 30 years ago. A proud graduate of University of California, Davis, Rubia has spent the last 15 years working in the renewable energy sector, where she has made significant contributions to sustainable development. In addition to Rubia's professional achievements, she is a dedicated parent to two sons aged 25 and 27. Fluent in multiple languages, she has a passion for connecting with people and fostering meaningful relationships. Since 2019, Rubia has been actively involved in the project Case 1 Euro, a unique initiative aimed at revitalizing the town of Mussomeli in Sicily, Italy. Through this project, Rubia has helped guide many people in acquiring properties, breathing new life into the community while creating opportunities for others to experience the charm of Sicily. Hello, Rubia. Lovely to meet you. Thanks for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And you're looking very vibrant, I must say. I love your
Oh, thank
smile,
you.
I love your energy.
Thank you.
So, Rubia, we've got a lot to cover before we get into this big new or new-ish adventure. I know it's been a couple years that you have going on in Italy. Let's talk about life before this particular adventure. Who is Rubia? Who is the woman behind the program in Italy and buying the properties? What were you doing before that? What were you doing in your 20s and 30s and 40s?
So I was born and raised in Brazil. I was raised by my grandparents, and I was raised to believe that I can do anything I want. As I became teenager and then became a mother, I I was inspired to come to United States, and I had a chance to come visit my aunt, and that was my first big change on my early 20s, was coming to a different country, different language. And I had my son who was 6 months old. So that was one of the biggest transition for me, coming to be in another country with a different culture and a different language as a young
Hmm.
adult.
And
And
you only had your aunt in the States when you came?
yes, I had my
Wow.
aunt here, and there was enough support. My first 2 years, I struggled with the language and with the culture. And then little by little, I got a chance to go to school. I got more familiar. I embraced the culture and the language. The language really started developing. And I had my second son, and life went on. I eventually got into UC Davis, and I graduate and start working on a renewable energy, and that's how everything started. With this big leap to go to another country and start a new life.
Wow. So really, you're no stranger to migrating. That's something that you have experience in. So,
Yeah, it's I highly recommend for any person who can have a chance to go to a different country and experience a different language and a different culture. It really enrich your life experience.
hmm, absolutely, it's life changing. And, it's not the easiest thing to do. It's one thing to take a vacation somewhere. That's easy. You plan that out. You're there to have fun. You have activities planned, whatever it is you think of that you plan that you're going to be doing while you're there. But moving to another country or spending an extended period of time in another country, that's a different story. You get everything. You get the good, the bad, the ugly, all of the challenges, the issues, and it
Yeah,
takes
for sure.
courage. Yeah, it
For
takes
sure.
courage. It
And you,
takes an
you
open
know,
mind.
yeah, and being a woman and a single parent, a Latin woman, which is seen, you struggle with different things like language, for instance. You
Hmm.
really have to grow grow into it so you can really excel. It's pretty much a transformation, which
It
is
is.
it really enriches your life.
Exactly. It's like getting an education in itself,
It
without
give
going
you
to school.
it give you a different point of view, because
Yes.
you can look and you can see both sides. You can see how people react to it
Hmm.
and how you feel about it. So
Absolutely. And you said something very powerful earlier, and also what I read, that you were raised to believe that you could do anything. So, and did you believe that? And how did that belief system impact your decisions in your early adult life and
I
even up until
as
now?
I was growing up, I always felt that I didn't have to compete with anyone, and there was always opportunities for me because that was the main focus of my grandparents.
Hmm.
And I not just believe that as I believe to this day. There's always opportunities, and you can do whatever you inspire to do. And that have been my main that have been what guide me.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like it's my something might go wrong, and then I had to go back to my childhood and connect again with my grandparents spiritually, and then reinforce that thought that there's always something out there and you can do it.
Hmm.
And
I
thumbs up,
I
you can,
believe that too.
yeah.
And you mentioned opportunities. I feel like even when, you know, the opportunities you feel like may not be readily available or coming to you, you can create your own. I'm a firm believer in just creating your own, sort of charting your own path in whatever area you want to progress in life. So now
Exactly, exactly.
let's get to, so you've stayed in the States ever since you first left Brazil? You just made the
Yes, I
US your home, and okay.
I came to California, and eventually I moved to Berkeley. I think if I was in any other city, I mine wouldn't last 30
Mhm.
years. I think the reason
Wow.
I was able to feel like I'm at home and succeed was because Berkeley, it's a very small town where you experience people all over the world. So it wasn't segregated, because San Francisco
Okay.
is very diverse, but it's still segregated. So I think one of the reasons I was able to stay for 30 years and find different opportunities and grew as the person that I am is also because I'm the location that I am. I think Berkeley is a good place to not to feel as a stranger, because you see
Mhm.
people from all over the world. So I
Yeah.
think I think that really helped.
Yeah. Excellent. Now, fast forward, you've been working in your career. Um, how did you find out about this program in Mussomeli in Sicily, the one
In
euro purchase program?
Right, right. So in 2019, I was on a family vacation in Bali, and it was December, I think. No, December 2018. In my better half, he mentioned something like, "Oh, I think I saw some news about places selling houses for €1." And then within 3 days after I came back, I have my ticket, I have my hotel and my rental car, and I left.
Really?
So,
So
so
why so soon? I mean, do you have
I,
any
I,
connection
I
to?
had, I had the intuition, I had to go see it for myself. And
Wow.
when I feel something, I try to act on it. I don't, because sometimes, you put things on the side. I try to, if something interests me, I act upon it very quickly. So,
Mm.
and I left, and that was how the €1 house journey started. So I got my ticket, I got my little Fiat, and I left. And my better half is like, "Oh man, she's she's nuts. She
Well,
gone.
he planted the seed though, didn't he?
He did, and
That's
sometimes
amazing
when
though.
he
I want to stop right there and just explore that belief. You know, when you get an idea, you feel something, you trust your intuition, you don't wait. You go ahead and act on it. And some might say, well, wow, we're talking about, picking up and running over to another country. That's huge. Well, no, I mean, you could have likened it to testing the waters in a new business. Maybe you want to start a cupcake business. It's the same thought process, whether it's moving abroad, buying property abroad, or starting a business where you live, or a new hobby. It's the same thought process. When you get an idea, you get good or information that you think will take your life to the next level. You didn't procrastinate. You thought, you know what, this could be something great, and you put the plan into act. You made a plan, you put the plan into action, and you left.
Yeah,
So,
and another thing that is very common is, like, I call the sabotage thoughts, right? You want to do something, and then within few hours you start coming with all this, which I don't have it, because my childhood, it was like, okay, you can do it. So I don't even entertain, like, oh, but how about the language? Oh, how about, so I think it's very common for our thoughts to sabotage our plans. So I try to look things with clear eye, but also have a more, finding more solutions and act on it if that's something that you want.
exactly, exactly. So, what was your first impression of the town when you arrived?
So prior to arriving, I spent hours and hours researching, looking the town. I was, just to get me familiar with. So when I
Hmm.
arrived there, I kind of have a geographic idea of what I was looking in the streets and locations. So,
Yeah.
and I come from a small town in Brazil where people are very welcoming. So when I went to Mussomeli, I had the same experience. It made me feel like I was at home.
Oh.
People were greeting me, people were welcome. I connect, with the realtor that was responsible for showing me the house, and she was supporting me through the entire time, and every little detail, like taking me to eat or taking me to the main, um, attraction, tours to around the town. And
Mhm.
I felt welcome. I felt like I was coming home.
Wow, that's so beautiful.
Yeah.
And at that time, could you speak any Italian? And were you familiar with the
Enough.
culture?
Yeah, enough, because the Portuguese language, it's a Latin language. So if I break down to the root, I can understand the meaning of the words. So it's enough for me to give people a hard time. So I was pretty. I was pretty comfortable.
Yeah, that's good. And that helps, that helps with, um, making you more relaxed and comfortable being there. So
Yeah, yeah, but the
when you,
main thing was really feeling comfortable and
mhm,
welcome, which they just it's a lot of good people there, so that's like a common feeling for a lot of the people that come through.
yeah, and I know I read that, and this was at the time of the start of the program, which I think was around 2017 or so, and here we are at 2024. So I'm sure a lot has changed. But I read that the population was dwindling. Like there's all this real estate, but not a lot of people. How is it now? Or how? What was your um, what did you think when you arrived? Were there? Did you come in contact with a lot of the locals, or was it pretty much a ghost town?
So the program started in 2017 in Sardinia, and then 2019 in Sicily. So I am one of the pioneers of the program.
Mm.
So in spring 2019 was when I came, and the first day I went to see the properties that were available, it was about 300 properties and just me.
Oh
It was just
wow.
me. Okay. So if you go there today, it'll be 15, sometimes 20 people and only one or two houses. So just
Oh.
with that, you can see how much things have changed.
Mm.
So people from all over the world start coming in and getting those houses. It's just it's an incredible process and is an incredible opportunity.
Mhm. Was it an easy process? And I read that you purchased 3, but did you get them all together, or did you buy 1 and then come back for the others?
No, when I came there, I was in it 100%. So I I select three I got all three. When I came back home, my better half was like, oh my god. So no, I got all three at the same
Okay.
time. And I got one for I got one for, I have two aunts. I got one for each. And I got
Mhm.
one for my adopted daughter. So I came
Okay.
back with six houses.
Oh,
So,
wow.
and
So
then
3 for family members, and what are the other 3 being used
the
for?
other three is it's one for me and one for each of the boys
Ah, okay.
with
Okay.
different ideas of how we're gonna use the property.
Yeah.
So I select what I want, pay the fees. So you pretty much get the house for free. The €1 is symbolic. You do
Mm.
have to pay the fees for the realtors as well as the closing cost.
Mhm.
So I did all the paperwork I have to do, and I came back home with the intention to go back in the summer, which was a couple of months. I went there beginning of the spring.
Mhm.
4 months later was when I was supposed to be back there to sign the deed and get the keys. So I came back home within that 4 months. I did all my planning, all my drawings. I had 5 suitcases full of tools. I work with construction, so I got
Okay.
all my tools. I bought a generator. I flew my brother in law from Brazil there. And then my better half went with me, and we have 5 suitcases of tools and the
Wow.
generators. It's been a quite of a journey for him because he's the complete opposite. He's just like I had to tell him, just embrace it. It's
Mhm.
happening. And and he's just being a good partner since he's just on it 100%, but I can see, he has his moments.
Right.
So summer of 2019 we start. I went back, got the deed, got the keys, and it start with renovation.
Wow.
And it has been a fantastic experience, just breaking walls, bringing down the roof, building a new roof. I flew my brother-in-law from Brazil. I
Mhm.
hired a guy from Nigeria, and I hired a Sicilian contractor. So I got all different races working with me, and
Wow.
the house is incredible. The
Now
house
these
is in,
contractors, were they already in Italy or did you fly
they
them
were
from Okay.
no, they were already there. Just my
Ah, okay.
brother-in-law, who is
Mhm.
he is a welder and electrician, so he was the
Wow.
only one that I had to fly out.
Okay.
And we work for 45 days nonstop, and we got a lot of done.
Yeah, I saw the photos of you with your mask and your tools, and I'm like, "Look at her, she's single-handedly, make
Yeah,
doing the renovations." So, have
yeah,
you
yeah.
renovated all 6 homes, or are you working on
So
one at a time?
I am. I did the roof in one of the properties. That's the house that's gonna go to my youngest son. He will be there with me in October. He's gonna start doing his work. I got the roof done for him, and I'm working on the house that is going to be the one I'm gonna keep for myself, with the intention to turn into a art gallery.
Oh,
So
okay.
that particular house, the houses that I select was fully collapsed. So that house,
Mm.
we're doing everything from scratch. We did a new, it's new everything, new decking, new roof, new floor, new electrical, new plumbing. So I'm not expecting to have any issue for the next 50 years because everything's new.
Right.
Everything's new. So I'm really splurging myself. I've got the marble I want in the bathroom. I have a fire place on my bathroom. I'm just doing everything exactly the way I want, and
Mhm.
that's what makes this opportunity so exciting, because you
Yeah.
for a very small amount of money you can build exactly the way you want it.
Mhm. I love it. And so now, more people have poured into the town, which I'm sure makes it more exciting, more full of life. Um, are there things to do around the town? I know the strip of land like Sicily, there's water on both sides, I believe. So where's the coast in proximity
So
to Mussomeli?
Sicily is actually a triangle. So
Okay.
you have you have three seas surrounding the island. It's just a
Ah,
very incredible geographic location. But going back to your original question, you asked me why Mussomeli. So
mm,
Mussomeli is a small town, but it's not too small. Okay, has
okay.
hospitals, gas station, banks, bakeries, boutiques, pubs.
Wow. I had no
So
idea.
you so another thing, when you're looking to relocate yourself, you have to ask yourself those questions. Do I want to be isolated, where I had to go to the next town if I need to go to the bank? So that was one of the homework I did. I was looking for something where it's a small town, but it's not too small. It has everything. You don't need to leave town to get material.
Mhm.
You don't need to leave town for you have everything there. There's main supermarkets, there's Chinese stores, there's everything you can think of. So it's just a really good place to be, because you have
Okay.
all those um, in a day-to-day thing. You don't need to leave the town. You have everything there.
And what about transportation? Is there a taxi system or a bus system?
There is a train. you can catch the train from Palermo. It's a really beautiful ride.
Hmm.
And then there's taxis around. I typically rent a car because I had to, I do different things, go different places. So I always rent a car. But you do
Hmm.
have an option to come by taxi for the people that don't drive, or you can come by train and then get a taxi once you arrive to the town. And it's increasing more and more ways of getting to Mussomeli.
Wow, that's amazing. And
Yeah, yeah,
this,
and then just being in Sicily is just it's a quick flight to anywhere you want to go. It's a quick flight to London, is a quick flight to Barcelona, Paris, Istanbul. I love Istanbul. I go there often. Greece. Just the location allowed you to really explore if you want to travel.
I love it. I mean, it sounds more and more exciting because all of the previous footage that I watched on Mussomeli, it didn't look like anyone lived there. It looked like everything had been condemned or closed down. Beautiful little village, but I thought, yeah, but when you get over there, what are you going to do? You
No,
have your
the
house,
town
and then what?
the town is very vibrant. They have jazz festival, they have the Castle festival, they
Oh
have
my
open
goodness.
operas. They have through the year calendar. There's multiple events happening. It's being hard even to find places to stay. That's how busy the city became.
Mm,
It's very vibrant. There's a lot to do around, and then within 40 minutes I'm in the coast. Within 40
mhm.
minutes I can visit Hercules Temple. It's just a lot to do once you're there. It's a good place to be.
Yeah, it sounds amazing. And the fact that, they came up with this program, purchase a home for €1. I mean, that's unheard of. And like you said,
I
it's
just
basically free. You're just paying the fees and
mhm.
for the renovations. And so, in terms of the renovation, I know there's some stipulation time wise as to when you need to have those things completed. How much time do they give you for that?
So it's 3 years, but then you have to remember that COVID happened. And then
Hmm.
for 2 years, we weren't allowed to come in. So they have been quite flexible due to COVID.
Okay.
But typically, it's 3 years for you to finish the exterior of the building. The
Oh,
interior you do up to your own time.
and that sounds like a lot of time. But, in Italy and for other countries as well, about how long does it take to renovate a country, or excuse me, a property in Mussomeli?
It depends on a contractor and depends on
Okay.
their availability. One of the things that is happening now, there's so many people that came and got those houses. So the contractors are super booked. So renovation, once they started, you're looking probably 4 months, 5 months. It's fairly quick. It's
Yeah.
just having the availability of the contractor to do, because the city is like, it's really transforming.
Okay. And that is pretty fast. I was thinking that, they're more relaxed and, oh, we'll get to it when we get to it. And, an hour, a year and a half later is what you're looking at in terms of getting a property renovated. But 4 or 5 months,
Once,
that
once,
that sounds perfect.
yeah, once they started, it goes pretty quickly. And then the house itself is just so beautiful. My property was built in solid stones.
Mm.
It's just an incredible experience. That's that's all. I guess that's the best way to
Yeah,
describe.
it's like
It's
you
just
get a perfect mix of the old and the new, like the really, really historic and the
yeah.
new. That's a beautiful
Yeah.
combination.
And then another thing that is happening, which is incredible, it's the fact that people from all over the world are getting those houses.
Yeah.
So my neighbor across the street is Greek. The person right next to me is British. Down the street, there's a person from Argentina. There's people from all over. There's Koreans, there's Argentinians, there's Belgians, there's British, Brazilians, a lot of Americans that work remotely. They come in with their whole family. It's incredible. It's
There's been
incredible.
so much coverage on the program. And like I said earlier, I became familiar with this program. I think it was maybe during COVID. I was watching a lot of YouTube during 2020, and CNBC Make It is where I saw your interview. It was you and maybe a couple other people. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is fantastic. So I remember I saved that video because I thought, I would consider that. I mean, I had my heart set on Mexico at the time, but I thought, you never know. I mean, I could live in Italy. So yeah, I definitely have to get over there for a
Yeah,
visit
it's a good
before
place.
everything's gone.
The water is good to drink. The air is clear.
Mm,
300 days of sun.
wow.
And you, within 2 hours, you can easily be in any other country you desire. So it's
Mm,
really a good place. And then there's no violent crimes. It's just very safe. People that you never met want to share coffee with you. That feeling. Um, I took my son for the first time in May this year,
oh,
and
okay.
everybody treat him like a family because they knew,
Yeah.
oh, that's Rubia's kid,
Uh-huh.
and he is just in so much love from of the town. He's going back in October. He's like, I should have been here sooner, working in my
Wow.
house.
Wow.
So it was really interesting to see a young adult raised in California. He's 25,
Okay, the youngest
being
one. Hmm.
being so like, because that feeling, that you belong, and the people are treating you like family, and then it's just incredible. It's an incredible thing. It's an incredible opportunity. I highly recommend.
Yeah.
I noticed that since I've been doing religiously since 2019, um, articles and encouraging people to do. I have helped over 100, probably 150 people to get their
Oh
houses.
my gosh, that's
I
right.
brought
You've
all
been
my
doing
friends.
tours. You've been bringing people.
I brought all my friends there. Everybody has a house.
Oh my
Um,
God.
and you just need to, it's a very small investment. You don't need to think too hard. It's a very small
Hmm.
investment, and it's a great opportunity. In the worst case scenario, you're going to have a house and you're going to have a vacation home in Europe.
Right.
That's
Oh,
the worst scenario. Okay, you have a
yeah.
vacation home in Europe. So it's a great opportunity. Encourage people to visit, and you just have to have choices.
Right. Do you know if Casa 1 Euro has expanded to additional cities outside of Mussomeli? I know there was one other town a couple years ago, but I'm curious if they have expanded more since
I
then.
believe there's I think 4 or 5 other towns. There is one town that is 1 hour away from me. It's a beautiful, charming town. In the same program, they have those houses, and they want to bring people in. There is more opportunities for sure.
Mhm. Mhm. All right, there you have it, listeners. Property for sale in Sicily for 1 euro. You just have to pay for the renovations and the other associated fees. So I myself am definitely going to look into that.
Let's do it.
So,
Let's do it.
so Rubia, what do you? Well, before we move, away from the house section, how much time do you plan to spend in Sicily? Do you plan to split your time throughout the year between Sicily and somewhere else?
So next year is going to be my first year staying there for 3 months, which I'm really looking forward to. I recent got a piece of land in Brazil in a very remote area. So I'm probably going to spending 4 months in Sicily, probably 4 months in United States and 4 months in Brazil. That would be ideally, right?
Mhm.
I'm looking to spend more and more time, and I think as I get older and retirement comes, I definitely gonna be in Sicily because the health system is one of the best.
Oh, good.
I can easily travel to anywhere in the world, and I can afford. Cost of living became unreasonable in California.
Mhm.
So I think for retirement, I definitely gonna be in Sicily. I think that's a fantastic place to retire. And you can see the elderly community there is so happy, is so vibrant. The life expand is much higher than United States.
Oh,
Um,
I didn't realize that.
so all of those things, it's I'm taking in consideration. So I think when retirement come, I'm going to spend more and more time there just because it's a good place to be.
Mhm. And that's fantastic that you're like, "Oh, I'm thinking of spending 4 months here and 4 months here and 4 months there." I mean, that's how I feel like that's living life with intention. You know, you are thinking, "Okay, this is how I want my life to look. This is how I wanna spend my days. I wanna break up the time. I wanna break up the year. I wanna be in different locations." I feel like if more people took the time to do that instead of just falling into a rut or a routine or a belief that, well, I live here and, I work here. And so I'm going to stay here and I'm going to retire here or I'm going to do what everybody else, living in Florida has shown me a lot of people choose to come down to Florida for a variety of reasons. The weather is nice and, other factors that people consider for retirement. But, you know, I feel like we can take it a step further. We can leave our home country as you've done already and try life somewhere else. I think that is one of the best things you can do for yourself is just even if you can only take a trip here, a trip there, do it and fully immerse yourself. It is life changing. So,
Yeah,
kudos to you
yeah,
for
for
that,
sure.
the splitting the
Yeah,
time. I
for
love that.
sure. For sure. So, yeah, I'm looking into retire there because cost of living safe is very safe there. The health system works better than a lot of the countries. The air is clean, the water is drinkable, and I can get up in the morning and go have lunch in Paris with my friends if I wanted
Mhm.
to. So just
That
that
sounds dreamy.
flexibility, yeah, that just that flexibility is really appealing to me. It's
Yeah.
and we do need to think outside. I think society works so hard to keep us within, this is what you have to do. And we need to think outside the box and really do things that make you grow as a person and make you develop new skills and help you learn new things. There's so much to learn, and if you don't make the step to be outside of the box, then you're just not helping yourself.
Right. You're setting yourself up for a life of flatness, I think. Um, that's how I see it. Just flat and, sort of boring. Uh, and so,
That's a
Rubia,
great
when you're,
opportunity. It's a great opportunity. I highly recommend. You don't need to
yeah,
think too hard. It's a very small investment and go for it and turn
hmm
that into whatever you desire.
exactly. So I'm going to be like you and start my research. I'm a big
Yeah, yeah.
researcher.
I'll be there in October. So
Okay.
let me
Banging out
know. Let me
walls.
know. Yeah, let me know, and then I'll be back again in March.
Ah,
So
okay.
So those are
Perfect.
my two next planned time to spend in Sicily is October, and then March I'll be there again.
Okay. And when you're not knocking down walls and drilling holes, what do you do for fun? What types of things bring you joy?
I love painting. So when I feel painting to me it's a way to it's an outlet. If I feel stressed or if I feel overwhelmed, I need to paint. I feel like I dust my brain when I paint. It make me focus. I work with acrylic. I um, I love painting. I love dancing. And I
Oh,
love rescuing animals. So 2 weeks ago, I rescued a baby crow that fell out of the nest and broke his
oh,
leg.
oh my
So,
gosh.
so I keep myself busy between painting and animals and dancing.
How
So
long have
that's
you
how
been
I
painting, and do you have any formal education, or is it just something you picked up and you wanted to try?
I have been drawing and painting since I think I was 3, maybe
Mm.
very early, very early. My grandmother will get me all the materials, and I spend long afternoons. One of the things I like to do when I was a little kid, I like to get a small image of something and then expand. I spent
Ah, okay.
hours trying to make this drawing bigger.
Mhm.
And then at a university level, I took classes. I typically work with acrylic because it give me it give me the I just like how the painting evolved.
Mhm. I
And
think it's easier to work with acrylic too, especially if you're a
yeah,
beginner. That's what I
yeah.
use. I would like to venture into watercolor because I love that look, but acrylic works best for me as a newbie. And I did study. I took a couple art classes in college, and one of them was oil, working with oils. And I found that I really
Hmm.
don't like working with oil
Hmm.
paint. So yeah, like you, I use acrylic.
Yeah, I
And I see
experienced.
that painting you have behind you is beautiful.
Yeah, this is the castle. This is the castle in Mussomeli. When you come, you're gonna be able
Hmm.
to visit in person. So I
Nice.
finished that 2 days ago, and then if you look in that's a drawing of me and my big shepherd. So
Wow.
it's a work in progress. I'm trying to creating the tone that matches my skin, so it's
Hmm.
evolving.
It's
um
beautiful.
yeah,
And
yeah.
so for our
So
listeners who are on Apple or Spotify, you can go on YouTube and see um, Rubia's paintings that she's sharing in her home. They are absolutely beautiful.
yeah, and I want to start working sculpturing. So I'm looking maybe to work with clay. That will be my next, maybe before the end of the year. I want to experience that. I'm gonna do a little bit more research,
Yeah.
but yeah, painting and just to keep my brain focused.
Right. I love that. You're creative and adventurous. Can renovate homes. I love that.
Right,
And what
right.
about your dancing? Any particular kind of dance that you that
I
you love?
I've been doing well, just being Brazilian, that's very it's very natural, right?
Mhm.
um I've been doing belly dance for the last maybe year. Now I'm considering transitioning into maybe hula dance.
Ooh.
um just for fun, just to pick up some exercise. It's
Yeah.
just good for the body to be moving.
It really is. I've only tried belly dancing at home, but it's it looks really beautiful and soulful.
Yeah,
It
it's a
also looks
great
really
it's a great
difficult.
it's a great workout. You know,
Yes.
the dancing through, it's like an hour and a half. The dancing feels like it's only 20 minutes. The rest is just the workout, which really helps with my sciatic, my back. It's the
Hmm.
workout that you have to do in order to do the dance. And I'm sure it's the same if you're trying to do hula, if you're trying to do samba, or if
Hmm.
you're trying to do salsa. There's a workout that really help with your body. So I do it for um, health purpose.
Yeah, I can salsa, but I can't samba. That is some when I watch
Hey,
samba videos, I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I wish, like, I really wanna learn that."
something to pick up. Maybe you can
Yeah,
add that for 2025. Get
yeah.
the samba going.
So, Rubia, I think now is a good time for us to move into the strawberry round, where I'll ask you 5 questions and you keep your answers short and sweet. Are you
Okay,
ready?
I am.
And if there's one you don't have an answer to, it's fine, just say pass. We can skip it.
Okay.
First one is name a book that has inspired you tremendously.
I think about 20 or 22 years ago, I read The Secret. It's a very little book you can go through in a couple of hours. The language is very simple. It's just reminding you to have positive thoughts. What you think about, you bring about. Love
Mm,
of attraction. So it's just a little book that kind of remind you to keep yourself with a positive attitude, positive thinking, and live your life like you manifesting what you want.
yeah,
So I think it's a good book to just keep you. I go back from time to time just to refresh ourselves, because when you're under stress, you forget things that you just need to um have positive thoughts that really help.
yeah. Next question is what's a software tool or app that you can't live without, either for professional or personal use?
I've recently started using Chat GBT, and I love it. I love
Really?
it. I,
How?
it makes my life easy. I feel like I almost have a relationship, and
Oh my goodness.
I have Google Home, and he tells me poems and jokes. I almost feel like, man, I think I need those two tools in my life.
Uh-huh. Okay, yeah, I haven't used Chat GPT, but I've used some of the other AI powered tools and I'm just playing around with them and I thought, "Oh my gosh, they can create images and, prepare outlines, all kinds of things." So,
Yeah,
I'll have to look into Chat GPT.
yeah.
Name someone you'd love to have lunch with and why.
If I can choose someone to have lunch with me, it would be Sadhguru. Um, I follow him. He just have a very simple, easy way to communicate and make things make sense to you. So I would love to sit down and ask few questions if I ever had a chance.
And who is this? What's his name again?
Sadat Guru.
Okay. And next, do you have a life motto or favorite quote that you live by?
I have right next to my bed, and I look multiple times through the day, particularly when I go to bed. It says, "Fortune favor the brave."
Mm,
So that's my mantra.
mhm.
I like to remind myself to be brave, and that
Yeah,
will give me, fortune favor the brave. So sometimes you just need to be brave.
that is true. And what is your top self-care ritual?
I like to meditate. I do that in the morning when I first my first few 30 minutes of the day. I like to wake up and um, be engaged with the moment, be in the
Mhm.
present. I like to do self meditation.
Mhm. And because you're from Brazil, I have a bonus question for you. Who are your
Okay.
favorite Brazilian artists, musical artists? Like, what's your favorite
Music, it's
song?
still Tom Jobim.
Oh,
It's still Tom Jobim.
I love him too. I can listen to him all
Yeah,
day.
I yeah, yeah. If I gonna choose, that's my choice.
Ah, what a great choice. I love Brazilian music and Brazilian jazz.
Yeah, yeah. He's
Thank you for that. Well,
well.
Rubia, do you have
Thank
any?
you for your time. Thank you for your
Yeah, do you
time.
have
I
any final
appreciate it.
words for our listeners to take as encouragement or advice to pivot and live life intentionally?
It's, so if you have a chance, or even if you don't have a chance, but you have a thought of something that you would like to do, just go for it. Just go for it. Don't hesitate.
Mm-hmm.
Embrace, and things will manifest the way they supposed to manifest. Just don't hesitate. Just go for it,
I
whatever
love
that
those
might be.
words. I love those words. And one last thing before we go, if you have any links, if anyone is interested in learning about more about you, any links you want to share with our guests, and if so, I'll be sure to link them in the show notes.
People can a lot of people reach out to me to get information of the one euro houses. I'll be happy to assist. They can reach me through my email. They can reach me on Facebook. And those are the two quick way for me to respond. I'll be happy to
Okay,
assist.
perfect. And I have all of that information, so I'll link it in the show notes.
Awesome.
Well, Rubia, it
All
has been
right.
so much
Thank you
fun.
so much.
I know,
It was
thank
a
you.
pleasure.
And I hope to see you in Mussomeli. I'm going to do my research and decide if that's something that may be a good plan for me. Hadn't thought about that before, but that's how life works.
Yeah,
Opportunities
for
come and you
sure. For
seize
sure.
them. So.
I'll be happy to assist. I'll be happy to assist. We can connect in Mussomeli, and I'll be right there to guide you through it.
All right. Sounds good. Well, thank you so much and take care.
Thank you. Thank
All
you.
right.
Bye
Bye
bye.
bye. Thank you for tuning in to another exciting episode of the MILFs Who Pivot podcast. Please take a minute to leave a review and don't forget to follow the show, download the episodes, and share with the other MILFs in your life. Listen in on any of the major platforms, including Apple and Spotify, or watch our videos on YouTube. You can join the community on Facebook and Instagram at MILFs Who Pivot Podcast.